Right, so I'm a bit late to the party. However, we need to discuss Lovecraft Country, executively produced by Jordan Peele and J.J. Abrams, two absolute legends. I must say, it's such a surreal show which combines sci-fi and horror. And I am completely hooked already. You are now listening to Opinionated Liver, and I'm here to break down all of the episodes and explore the theories of episodes to come. And no, I have not read the novel, so all of my theories are going to be my own and based merely on episodes I've watched. If you're feeling what I have to say, hit that like button to help a girl out. And a cheeky subscription not go miss, because I'll be doing more videos based on this series. Now sit back and relax, and I'm going to get into this. The series kickstarts right in the middle of the Korean War. We know this because we can see the soldiers are Asian. We also see the transition from black and white to colour. To me, the use of black and white represents the historical representation, whereas colour shows the transition from reality to dream. We know it's a dream because things get a little bit strange and we see a huge monster. We also see the appearance of famous baseball player Jackie Robinson, who defeats the African monster called Kulu. We know this is definitely Jackie, because we hear a voiceover talking about a young American boy. This is taken from the 1950 film Jackie Robinson story. The Jackie Robinson story will show you to be very relevant to the events which will later unfold with Atticus. We then meet a red-skinned alien, which is reference to the Princess of Mars book, which we later see Atticus reading on the bus. Why is this so important? Well, the Princess of Mars is about a story of an ex-soldier who is exported to a new world, similar to Atticus, who's returned home and must navigate through the new world. I'm really pleased that the show did not shy away from depicting the Jim Crow period. We see how Atticus experiences racism throughout every step of his journey, from the segregation on the bus to the terrors of the sundown towns, which I'll go into more details later. After the bus breaks down, we later see Atticus having a discussion with a woman. They talk about, can you like art if it was written by a racist? The author H.P. was notoriously known for being a white supremacist. However, Atticus still likes his book.
Like people, love them doesn't make them perfect. You just try and cherish them, overlook their flaws.
We know Atticus is on his way home after receiving a cryptic letter from his dad, who's gone missing. On arrival, he meets up with his Uncle George to find out what's happened to his dad. He finds out he has a secret birthright, and his mum's ancestry are from a place called Arkham, which is the same place that printed Lovecraft's short series, The Outsider and the others. Uncle G corrects Atticus and informs him the place is actually Arden. We also see the appearance of the infamous book, The Negro Traveller's Green Book. The Green Book was first published in New York in 1936 and was a guide for African Americans, warning them of places which may be dangerous in the Deep South. However, the book was eventually expanded to cover North America, including the United States, parts of Canada, Mexico and the Caribbean. Following his chat with Uncle G, Atticus then goes to the Denmark Varsi bar to find out what happened to his dad. Funnily enough, the bar was actually named after Denmark Varsi, who planned a slave rebellion in 1982. We then meet Letitia, aka Letty, at a block party. We learn that her brother is at a town called Bayford. Interesting fact, Bayford is a place in England which is famous for the witch trials. Fast forward and we then see Atticus and Uncle G looking at the map of the country. They discover there's a range of werewolves, wizards and clan members. Atticus eventually comes to the realisation that his father is located in the land of death. Atticus then goes back to his father's apartment, where he finds the Count of Monte Cristo. This novel was written by Alexandre Dumas. The novel focuses on a man who is wrongfully imprisoned but eventually escapes. He then takes revenge on those who conspired against him. I believe this is alluding to Atticus's fate. We also see that Atticus finds his father's gun, and then he speaks to G.I., who is the same red-skinned woman from the intro. There is definitely a connection here, however I'm not sure what it is yet. If you have a theory for this, please comment down below because I'd love to know why. Atticus is ready to start his journey, only to discover Letty is wanting to catch a ride too. The pair along with Uncle G head off on their journey across the Midwest. On their journey they see racism is still prominent. They pass a black family who are being ignored while they wait to be served ice cream. They also pass a sign that says, "Don't let the sun pass on you here." Understand? Oh, that gives me the chills. That is so scary. During the Crow Laws era, sundown towns were places where African America, or in fact anyone of colour, were not welcomed after dark. After sunset, it was virtually free reign for white people, including police, to terrorise them. Punishments was ranged from threats to lynching. Not only did this include black people, but also Chinese, Native Americans, Mexicans, Japanese and Jewish. We also see the pricks at the pit stop making monkey noises at Atticus. Now this is the perfect intro for the iconic imagery we see used throughout the episode. Do you remember seeing a camera linger on a well-dressed black woman and a little girl? Well, this was in reference to one of Gordon Parks' most famous photos. The image shows Joanna Thornton Wilson and her niece Shirley Ann. The two were photographed outside a department store in Alabama. Gordon Parks was one of the greatest photographers to document black life in America. We also see the idea of two Americans showcased when the trio drive past a billboard. As you can see, the billboard shows an affluent and prosperous white family on a road trip. The billboard reads, "There's no way like the American way." This is prominent and just above the line of poor African Americans. We can see a clear juxtaposition here. If you aren't already aware, this is a famous photograph taken by a white American photojournalist called Margaret Burke White. This also reinforces the use of James Baldwin's speech. While they are travelling around the country, we hear the speech from James Baldwin serving as a backing track. The speech was taken from a debate James Baldwin had with the Conservative member William F. Buckley. Baldwin believed that Americanism is a construct hinged on black oppression. And I'm sorry to say I completely agree with his testament. We could argue that Baldwin's statements on black oppression acts as a thesis for Lovecraft Country's representation of the experience that Atticus, Uncle G and Letty have. We then see the group go to a diner which Uncle G recommends, only to discover it's now under white ownership. They are informed that a black family that previously owned it had been run out of town. It is hinted that the diner had been burnt down due to the white painted walls and the loose floor tiling. The group then have to make a quick dash when Letty sees a member of the staff call in the owners. But it's too late as they chased out of town with people shooting at them. This bit was so intense. However, they are saved by a mysterious silver car and equally mysterious woman. So yeah, I'm not really sure who she is, but I can tell she's definitely going to be a main character. The trio eventually make it to Letty's brother's house, where he warns them about the sheriff who enforces the sundown laws. Eek! We then see Letty and her brother end up having an argument, as well as tension between Atticus and Uncle G. We discover that Atticus's father is disappointed in him, fighting in a war for a country that hates him. I can definitely see parallels with the Vietnam War and why Muhammad Ali didn't want to fight for his country. After all of the intense racism, why the hell would you want to risk your life for a country that doesn't care whether you live or die? Actually, scrap that. They go about lynching people, so no. The next day, the trio intend to ride at Arden, however they get lost. They meet the sinister Sheriff Hunt, and he literally hunts them down. He warns them they have till sundown, and then we see a game of cat and mouse. This is literally one of the slowest car chases I have ever seen. The trio are eventually stopped by police who wrongly accuse them of a string of burglaries. However, yet again they are saved when a monster kills the police, which allows for Letty and Atticus to run into a hut where they are joined by another police officer and Sheriff Hunt. Letty is then forced by Hunt to make a run for the car. Then Hunt is bitten and we slowly see him turning into a monster. This confirms Uncle G's connection with Dracula. We then see how Hunt kills the other officer. Letty rams the car into the cabin, hitting Hunt, however he escapes. I'm sure he'll be back though. The monsters are then summoned by a whistle. Now, with all the drama out of the way, the trio eventually make it to Arden. They spot the mysterious silver car, hint hint, I guess they'll meet the woman, and knock on the door of the mansion, where they are greeted by Kaylin Breath White. Right, so my theory for the next episode is we'll find out who the mysterious woman is, why she saved them, what role she's going to play, and whether she's a hero or a villain. I'm hoping we're going to find out a bit more about Atticus's mum, because there was photos of her presented throughout the episode, so I feel like she's really important to the storyline. But anyway, guys, on that note, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you so much for listening. I would love to know your theories on the episode so far. If I've missed anything, please let me know, because obviously I probably did miss some Easter eggs here. So let me know in a comment below. I would love to get into some dialogue with you. Did you guys enjoy this episode? Are you going to be watching it all? Because I definitely will. And yeah, I know I was a bit late with uploading this because I live in England. I've only just discovered this show, but now I'm completely hooked. So I will be doing weekly reviews on each episode. So stay tuned for that and subscribe if you do not want to miss that. Bye for now, guys.